sure.
So before you make the switch over here to this beautiful Lalique.
Yes.
You guys are pulling from the bottom shelf, I see today.
Hey, welcome to Super Social Club. I'm Jeremy.
This is Whisky in the Six. I'm Rob.
Welcome to the Whisky Rant Podcast.
It's a little crusty.
It's frustrating.
And it's going to be a little bit of a rant.
I don't understand it. I don't know why.
Some sort of injustice.
Anyway, end rant.
Hello and welcome back to the Whisky Rant Podcast. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Rob.
And today I should say, we are joined by two of our idols on Whiskey Tube, guys that we've been following since the very, very beginning. A channel that specializes in auction bottles. Mike and Narby are on the program today. What's up, fellas?
What's up, guys?
What's happening?
How
Thanks
you
for
doing?
having us on.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Cigar and whiskey is going to be our focus today. You guys started doing cigar chats in the backyard, just shooting the shit with a couple stogies. What do you got on your ashtray right there?
Go for it, Mike.
So this is a H. Upman, the Añejados line. So it's aged 5 years, but this is an old box from 2012. So it's been aging for quite some time.
Very nice.
Nice.
And
So cool.
I went deep in my humidor and pulled out a couple sticks that I've been saving for this special occasion. Actually,
Yeah.
it was on
Yes,
our counter for a while. Myself got the Bujique. This is the 52,
Ooh,
Yes,
nice,
sir.
nice.
Wow. Hell yeah.
and for Rob, grabbed him the Opus X Angel Share, one of your guys' favorites as well.
Yeah. This is one of our
Absolutely.
favorite non-Cubans.
Absolutely.
If I'm looking for like something really like creamy and smooth and not, too complicated, that just really hits the spot.
The
Now
Angel
take it-
Share is perfect for all occasions.
Right. Take us through how you guys go about acquiring cigars, because obviously you're buying like vintage boxes. Where do you source those from?
Wow. We do have a box. We should have brought it out. We didn't bring it out. We
Yeah.
could go get it. Of Cohiba 1966s. It's kind of like the unicorn of unicorn cigars, like in the cigar collecting world. And it's just, it's one of the cigars to get. So it was a 2011 special release.
2011. It was
Yeah.
it's the 45th anniversary of Habanos
Yeah.
Company.
Yeah.
So I would say very similar. There aren't nearly as many, but there are a lot of cigar auction sites out there. But you got to hunt.
Yeah.
And same as whiskey, you have to find which ones are reputable.
So we have some reputable sites that we get from online. We have private people that we know that have access to them, trusted
That's a way
sources
too.
that we have here through friends. And that box of Cohibas, that was actually an auction purchase. So we actually have bought cigars from auctions as well.
And when would those have been rolled?
Wow. How long were they aged before they released them in 2011?
They're actually only aged like 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
but it's the region they're
Yes.
from and the type of tobacco.
So 2008?
Yeah, it's 2008.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So how do you guys find like an aged cigar? Obviously they mellow out a little bit. But
I don't know how many times you've tried like a very aged Cuban,
Never.
but
Never.
they completely transform.
Oh, wow.
I've had cigars that just weren't, you try it and it's good, but then you let it sit for like 5 years and it just becomes a completely different thing. I'm like, it's actually kind of shocking just letting a cigar sit in a humidor.
No, it's
What kind of magic will
it's
happen?
very similar to wine. And keep in mind that when we bought the Cohiba 1966s, they were already aged for 10 years. So that's one, think about like whiskey. That's one of the beauties of these auction sites or like wine, you can buy it with the exact aging you want. And similar to like whiskey sites, it's going to be whatever the, lowest possible market price is going to be, because all the buyers and sellers are very educated. No one's going to cheat anybody else. So, I mean, obviously, we buy retail too, but like Jeremy, you were saying, I think one of the last cigar chats or the podcast, Cubans have just gone through the roof now.
Yep.
So it's hard to find any deals with retail.
Yeah. So what happened, if our viewers are unaware of kind of what happened with Cuban cigars, is the price that they're going for in the Hong Kong market was the largest in the world, like the most expensive market.
Oh yeah.
And the Cuban government, who owns Habanos, which is the distributor for all Cuban cigars, were like, why don't we just sell our cigars for the price that they're paying for them? Because they were buying them up around the world reselling them there. So they're like, why don't we just sell it for that? So big brands like Cohiba, Trinidad, those have all gone up almost 300%. Wow. And other other popular ones are following suit, maybe not the 300% hike, but I've seen huge hikes in cigars like Monte Cristo #2s are up a crazy amount. Like the Partagas, you know, the ones you guys like, those are crazy expensive now as well.
Yeah, I guess there was during the pandemic when everyone was staying home, everyone was buying a lot of whiskey.
Yeah,
everyone was buying a lot of cigars. Everyone started collecting. Everyone got a new hobby. Mm-hmm. You know, everyone put their stimulus checks towards something like that, and all of a sudden there was a shortage. And
seriously,
actually, what a lot of stores, Cuban retail stores did, they actually held back a lot. So not only was there like kind of like a shortage, but they held back and wouldn't put stuff on the shelf, and the demand just went insane. I think it's going to calm down a little bit, but the demand just went absolutely insane.
Almost like Pappy. They held back supply.
Yeah.
To jack up, and Springbank to jack up demand.
Guys, is that the 2021 or sorry,
22, the one that you just did a comparison of?
What do you think?
Awesome.
Really good, right?
Yeah.
It's
so like, you know, these are all sherry, but this is so like actual Oloroso forward. You know, you have to almost dig for the Springbank character.
It's true. Yeah, it's not like the least amount of Springbank characteristic I've had in Springbank.
But it's awesome. It's awesome.
I love it. It's fantastic. No sulfur whatsoever.
So you guys starting with the Springbank 15. We got a Macallan Spey Malt. We tried this on the channel before. Really good stuff. 21 years old at 55.5% ABV.
Awesome. What do you guys think of it?
It's really good, man. It's bold. It's in your face. It's lots of complexity.
Yeah.
Finish is very, very long.
It's a cherry bomb. Very, very it's like literally, it's like a beautiful, like ripe cherry note.
Awesome. Yeah, you can't go wrong with the Gordon, MacPhails, the Macallans, the Spey malts. So much better than, for example, the Macallan 18 that's out there for like 500 pounds retail now.
Oh my God, yeah.
It makes no sense. It's more money than this.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Well, like, and where else can you find cask strength Macallan? You can't find it directly from Macallan.
No, the single casks are literally impossible to find. They go directly to the, you know, in Ontario anyway, they go directly to like corporate executives. Like they don't even, you know.
You're talking about the exceptional casks?
The exceptional casks.
Yeah. Yes. Oh yeah. That's crazy.
It's a joke. There was a time where, you know, the 12-year-old popped up on an LCBO website. It was the exceptional cask. And before, like, it didn't actually ever exist at the LCBO because it went straight to all the people that pad their pockets, and then that's it. So,
hey, is that like the management employees like totally hook each other up and stuff?
Oh yeah, it's a government top down, basically. Well, how would you compare it?
I don't know, communism, I guess.
Probably, yeah. I guess dictatorship. I guess like the dictator gets as many as he wants, then it goes down to the second in command. His kids.
Crazy.
What do you think of cigar in the first couple puffs?
Beautiful.
Yeah, Rob. Rob, do you smoke cigars regularly? Because I know Jeremy's gone absolutely nuts with the cigars.
Yeah, I'm nowhere near his level. In fact, I just got a hand-me-down humidor from Jeremy. He was so kind to give me one because I used to have one actually, and then when I was really into it back in the day, like probably about 15, 16 years ago, I was buying Cubans all the time, boxes at a time when they were dirt cheap. Like Cohiba Robustos, I'm not sure how it compares to what Jeremy's smoking right now, but like I used to buy boxes of Cohiba Robustos for less than $200 Canadian.
Wow.
The good old days, yeah.
It was like sometimes as low as like $100 Canadian, and I used to just smoke Cohiba Robustos. I was probably like a cigar snob, but not knowingly a cigar snob. And then now I did like stop smoking until Jeremy brought it back into my life.
Yeah, and that box is like well over $1,000 US now for something like that.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
It sounds like Jeremy's a great influence.
Yeah. Yeah. We share our vices.
Well, yeah. I mean, I gave you that humidor, that like 50 count humidor, because I graduated from that in about week 1. It was full.
So there you go. Yeah, but this is beautiful. So this is one of your favorites, you guys said?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
The first time we had that, was it your bachelor party in Vegas? Or was it?
I can't
Matt's?
remember.
Anyway, it was either his or our other buddy. We were in Casa Fuente, which is, Arturo Fuente's shop, his house in Vegas.
Nice.
At Caesar's Palace. And back then, like, we just went recently, and now you have to buy like a 3-pack or a box and pay a lot more to get any Opus X.
Yeah.
But back then they had everything. They had like 20-year aged Opus X's for, $100 plus.
Yeah.
That's the first time we had it. And yeah, it was a big like eye opener for us.
It's so sad what's happened to everything. Like when we talk about literally anything we enjoy, the four of us, we're talking about back then, like 5 years ago, in some situations where we were able to buy everything we wanted at excess. Sorry. And now it's like pulling teeth to get one. Like I literally had to trade away some of my best bottles in order to get I got the Hazelburn 21. Have you guys tried that one yet? The new one.
What'd you trade for that?
So I'm almost embarrassed to say, but I traded for one of them head to head. I traded Highland Park 25, and then the other one I traded. I got two of them, and the other one I traded a Glen 21, the batch one.
Okay, you had two of the Glen 21s.
So I had obviously had a plethora of Highland Park 25 over the years, so I got them at a good price back when I was buying them.
Got it. Yeah. I got you. Yeah.
And then the Glen 21 I had reviewed a while back. I don't know if you guys saw that video, the batch one. And then
yes,
so I had a backup, and I traded.
I don't remember your score, but were you not a huge fan of it?
It was like I think I gave it like an 89. I like, but like I mean for the value, I think I don't know. Hazelburn's probably in my wheelhouse a little bit more. So and I really wanted that bottle. I really wanted that.
I get it. I mean, we haven't seen it. We haven't acquired a bottle, but what do you think? I'm assuming you love it.
You popped it?
I haven't actually received it yet.
Okay, got it.
Done, but it's not. Hopefully this airs after I actually have them in hand.
Yeah.
Right. So.
No, yeah, I'm dying to try it.
Yeah.
But like, to your point again, like we get into these things and we just see the transition go from to craziness, right?
Yeah.
Like we got into whiskey like really hardcore, 6, 7, 8 years ago, and now look at it. Got into cigars a year ago, and now just look what happened to cigars in 1 year.
Yeah,
right?
Cigars. Everybody on the street now smokes cigars. I was
Crazy.
the last one out of everybody to actually like really get a humidor again and then get back into it because whatever. I didn't need another avenue to waste my money, obviously. But
honestly, I want to say I'm embarrassed, but I'm not embarrassed. But what I use for a humidor, I mean, I've gotten like regular humidors. And even at Mike's house, we got like a crazy fancy humidor.
Sucks.
But we actually use Tupperware with Bovita bags.
Oh,
We're just not dealing with humidors.
But like the Cadillac of Tupperware.
Yeah.
Yeah, that nice.
It actually keeps the cigars like
it
flawless.
Does way better.
Zero worries.
I mean, unless you have one of those massive cabinets, which are very expensive. Those are
refrigerated.
Yeah, the refrigerator ones.
The refrigerated ones are the way to go.
Like what is it, Rabbit Air?
It's not Rabbit Air. It's called New Air.
But yeah,
you see all the bourbon tube guys. They all have them.
Those work well. But for just small room, Tupperware.
Yeah, for sure. As long as you got the consistent temperature, those things will keep the humidity perfect for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
This bottle that you have right here that you're about to show us.
Yes, we're gonna uncork special bottling with you guys here tonight.
We knew you guys would be bringing the goods, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Lift it. Actually, you know what? Sit it on top of the box if you don't mind, and then this.
You want to lay?
No,
like
flat. Yeah, flatten the box.
There you go. Yeah.
You guys see it?
That's the right way to do it. Yeah, you got it.
For all the viewers on YouTube, we apologize about our crappy camera quality. Our webcam didn't come through, so we're using our crappier camera, but it's all good.
It's all good.
But yeah,
look at that liquid. I mean, that looks dark as night, man.
It is. It's 1953 Glen Grant's. The Legacy of Mr. George. This is the first release, and it's bottled at 59.4% ABV after 57 years. So
Wow.
67
67
in a first fill sherry butt.
67 in a first fill sherry.
Yeah. So let me just real quick the details. So the cask was filled Christmas Eve, 1953.
Oh, this bottle's meant for me. I started my channel Christmas Eve.
there you
Right?
go.
Yeah. Bottled January 5th, 2021. 355 bottles.
Wow,
So
that's insane.
the reason why we went, as you guys know, when we go for big purchases, we're normally going for bottles like this. This is the Glen Geary 1971 Samaroli bottling, one of the 20 best bottles probably of whiskey ever bottled. And this is normally what we would splurge on. So going for something like this, when it comes to regular releases, we don't really seek those bottles anymore, just because we like that old school stuff.
Yeah.
But been hearing crazy things about this from many trusted sources. So we'll see. We want to pop it right now.
So from what I know about this bottle, we actually we may the rep for Gordon MacPhail.
Yes.
We're good friends with him, and he's trying to work out where we would have Richard Urquhart on the rant.
Wow.
And he's actually trying to source us a couple samples of this exact liquid.
The same one, the 50, the 50
This exact bottle.
release?
Yeah, go for the first one, not the second one.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
That's amazing.
So if that happens, obviously we're gonna be super stoked. But
that'd be incredible. And Gordon and
That is
MacPhail is actually
fantastic.
very good at sending samples to people.
Oh yeah.
they are. I mean, the event that I'm sure you guys. I mean, we've talked about it already at length, but I mean, the fact that they sent I don't know how many people to Vancouver to try the 80.
Oh yeah, that was incredible.
Yeah.
The Macallan motherfuckers would never do that.
No, never.
We had a really good conversation with was it Richard or
It was James.
with James
James.
about who has more stock.
Oh no,
Aurora.
it might have. Oh, it was
Gordon
both.
MacPhail
That's right.
or freaking what's it called?
Or Brora.
Or Brora, yeah,
Oh,
seriously.
Or yeah. And
Or fill in the blank. Yeah.
it's like Gordon MacPhail might have more Brora
Yeah,
than Diageo has.
that's insane.
You know?
And they haven't released it yet. They when's the last time you've seen a?
I
Gordon
mean,
MacPhail?
they're pulling them from their stocks and they're bringing out stuff like this still.
But this is what I'm saying is like, so actually when I was gonna say, when you guys made the comment about like usually buying like archive pieces and like museum pieces and that kind of thing,
Yeah.
Gordon MacPhail is bottling archive pieces and museum
Yeah,
pieces. That's what they're
crazy.
bottling. They're not just, you don't have to go into their archives to do it. They're still bottling that kind of stuff.
I mean, imagine just cherry picking from their warehouse of stuff.
Oh my, like honestly, to be an Urquhart right now is to be, I think personally, the best positioned people in Scotch right now in the world, because not only do they have Gordon MacPhail, which is absolutely killing it, they have Ben Romick that they're gonna try to like trailblaze with, you know what I mean? And I honestly, I do believe I have high hopes for Ben Romick, because I think they're gonna be insane in the next few years.
1000%.
Well, according to Ralphie, just stop chill filtering, right? Up to ABV and we're good to go.
Yeah, then they're gonna be the next Springbank.
That's right.
We
Exactly.
actually said that on our channel.
Yeah, we saw when you were talking about it. Yeah.
And it was funny because, sorry, I mentioned earlier that the geese think like summer's back because it's a hot day
Yeah,
here, so
it's
they're
like
coming back north.
it's almost 90 degrees here today, so it's a hot one.
So every once in a while you'll
You have
hear.
lawnmowers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Exactly.
So first impressions on the nose, what do you guys think?
So he absolutely insane. It's one of my, when it comes to like heavily sherried whiskeys that have been aged for a long time, we're talking like 40 plus years, and there's a few distilleries I could really do this well. Glen Grant, Macallan, Longmorn, Mortlock could do it even. Strathyla could do it. there's a few distilleries that when you age something for 40, 50 years, even in like a first fill cask, where I don't know why their spirit just holds up. And that's why these Gordon and MacPhail bottlings are so special, because they've left them in these epic casks. Just like Macallan was able to get epic casks, Gordon and MacPhail was able to get just as good a casks, right? So now imagine Macallan releases in 1953 at cask strength. You know, how much would that cost? $1 million, you know? So
well, how many casks did Macallan buy back from Gordon MacPhail back in the day?
We know that the 81 is bought back.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the 81 is bought back. A lot of the old school bottles that you're seeing right now is bought back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I would almost argue that Gordon MacPhail had access to even better casks than anybody else in the world, because they had such good relationships with every distillery. You know what I mean? It wasn't just that they, you know, like Macallan had competition, so people don't want to help them. You know what I mean? Whereas Gordon MacPhail, they were buying from every distillery, and they had great relationships with every distillery, so they were buying up the best shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The main thing about Gordon and MacPhail is that they were able to get the best casks, and they got a lot of them. Exactly. They got a lot of them, and that's why we're able to see bottlings like this. Now, what we tend to see from Gordon and MacPhail in terms of like what are like their epic bottles, it tends to be just the more straightforward, like power sherry kind of style bottlings, right? Where if you go back to maybe some like for example, the Glengarioch I pulled out, that's sherry, but it's so different kind of sherry.
Right.
So that's the only thing I would say, like with the Gordon and MacPhail bottlings, they kind of fall in that straight line of, in terms of just straight perfect kind of sherry, but it doesn't kind of go to like the realm of like the old school Springbank kind of sherries, you know,
right.
Stuff like that.
True. Yeah, like straight sherry unpeated.
Yes. Yeah.
I think Ralphie mentioned in a review he did maybe a while ago, is either a Mortlock or maybe a Glen Grant. And he spoke to the spirit and how that does translate well to long aging.
Yeah.
You know, just like some of these spirits can just handle it. They can just sit in a cask forever and not wear down. Like you said, the ABV is still super high on that.
The ABV is super high.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And the best part, I mean, the nose is already like mind blowing. We're outside, we're smoking cigars, so we're not getting the 100% of the full experience. But the beeswax note that you get when you age this long, and in just that like old furniture style kind of sherry, where it's just like you're at an antique store, the Dunnet sherry.
Yeah.
But the heavy beeswax is one of my favorite notes.
Yeah.
Where you get with like some Balvinis as well when they age for a long time.
Yeah. It's like that furniture, Glen Grant, man, that antique furniture and polish, metal polish. It's crazy.
But this is stunning. This is stunning.
With that age and that ABV, would you guys maybe conclude that this is one of those transport casks that they used back in the day?
Oh yes, 1,000,000%.
Yes.
Thick wood, you know, like something like we had with that 81-year-old Glenlivet.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Definitely.
yes. The Glenlivet that you guys had was American oak. So I don't know what in terms of how that cask, but I do know that it's American sherry, that the old Glenlivet that you guys had.
Yeah.
We haven't tried it though. I'm sure it was epic.
It was crazy.
It was very good.
It was
And,
crazy.
like,
Crazy, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
it was like
That's
the vibrancy of that being that old blew us
Shocking.
away, I think,
It was honestly, I thought I was gonna just drink oak,
Yeah.
and it was not that at all. Like not even close. Like it was the best thing I've ever tried, and thanks to you guys, I got to try some nice antique stuff as well.
Yeah.
When you sent us a bunch of samples, and then we've had some decent stuff over the years. Obviously, nothing whatever, like some 40-year-olds, some whatever, but it was stupid.
We still remember that Kawasaki you guys sent us.
Karazawa, yeah.
Kurazawa, that thing was
Oh man.
insanely good.
Yeah, the Springbank 12 that they sent us was
that
nuts.
100 proof Springbank 12 was insane as well.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah, I know you guys only got to try half an ounce each, which isn't a lot. And then you're also like on camera while you're trying. I think you tried them on a live, right?
Yeah, a couple of them.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to analyze. It's much harder to analyze a whiskey when you're like doing a live show and you don't have much. But yeah, those are really, really special whiskeys.
Those are up there.
It's funny. I caught one of you guys. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Mike actually. Doing something that I catch myself doing on a lot of reviews. It's just like, it's like that romancing when you're in the review, all of a sudden you start to love that whiskey a little bit more than you did every pour before that. It's like, I think that was, I don't know which one it was of you two. I know I was watching a Malt Reviews video. I think it was Mike.
Sure.
It was at the old Carters. I can't remember, but like, it's one of those things when you're right about the live, because there's so much going on and you're interacting with other people, you kind of lose track of what's happening.
Correct.
But when you're actually just sitting in front of a camera and you're dissecting notes and you're like just literally talking to the whiskey,
Correct.
Something happens. It's almost like it's a different moment. I find that
it is
those moments I'm on with that whiskey usually, and then obviously you have your bad days, whatever. But
100%. Yeah, this is really, really special. Old school sherry. This is
and
it's really a treat.
The ABV, it's like it is coating. It's viscous. It's chewy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know
Like,
how
what's
they got
the-
that ABV.
with that ABV, like, what's the heat level? Are you getting any heat? Is it
No heat.
Zero. Just
Zero.
thickness.
Yeah.
So
like-
so viscous.
like 43% maple syrup or chocolate syrup or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like
Insane.
we drank water out of Rob's tap right before.
Yeah.
We actually make a
You
joke.
just referenced that in
I
the
referenced
video
that,
we just
yeah.
did before this.
We had a rant right before this, and yeah, I talk about that as well.
This is opening up like crazy.
Is smoking.
Yeah, this is
Wow.
this is a stunner.
Just beautiful.
Crazy.
This is smoking really, really nice as well. How about you? Are you guys gonna light those bad boys up, or what's happening over there?
Oh, we did.
Oh, you did. I missed that. Oh man.
I'm going for an Ash challenge.
Another one.
Trying to get this thing-
Yeah, we've been smoking them. Amazing. How are you guys' cigars?
I love it.
This is burning just so nice.
Yeah.
Just unreal. Like the coffee note that's coming off of it right now is just so good.
So
Jeremy, is that your first Bahike?
No, second.
Wow.
I was
Yeah,
in Montreal. I was in Montreal this summer for the Formula One race, and went to a cigar lounge, and they had a 56 there,
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm just like, give me that, please.
Yes. Take my money.
It was pretty well priced. Like I think they wanted 140 for it, which I think like by today's standards is a great deal.
That's a
Great deal,
great
yeah.
deal. That's insane. Yeah.
I bought this one when I was in Colombia, and I should have bought the whole box because like they only wanted it turned out to be like $80 Canadian after
Wow.
the rate. I'm like,
Oh,
why didn't
yeah.
I buy it? They had 4 left in a box, and I was like, I should have just bought all 4, and I could have probably bought the box too.
Yeah.
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
absolutely.
I have huge regrets. When I went to Baja Mar with my wife in Bahamas this summer that just passed, there was a beautiful cigar lounge, indoor, outdoor, wherever you wanted to smoke
In the Bahamas?
in Bahamas. Yeah, at Baja
Oh,
Mar,
wow.
Hyatt Baja
Amazing.
Mar. And I didn't go once, like an idiot. But but my boy Monti, he was there the week before me. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar. 6 Gin and Rock and Roll, the dude that I do a couple
I've
videos.
seen him
with.
on your channel. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he went when he was there. He went every night. He said it was
Yeah.
absolutely epic.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Gem. Wow.
I mean, when you're with your wife though, right? It was just you.
Yeah, that's kind of tricky.
yeah.
It's like you kind of have to be like, I need like at least an hour.
Well, that's
you
the
know?
thing, and she's not a big fan of the smoke,
Sure.
so I didn't want like blowing smoke in her face for like an hour and a half. On,
Yep.
you know, we that was the first time we went on a trip without the kids, so it was like it was just a different experience.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Next time.
I
Yeah.
feel bad when I go to Vegas. I make my wife go sit in cigar lounges with me for hours while I smoke like 2 of them.
Smoke blowing in her face. Yeah.
So you guys are still plugged into the auction world. Can you guys
Yes,
speak
sir.
to anything that you've noticed change recently that might be grinding your gears? Something you want to rant about in the auction world that's been changed in the
I
last
think-
couple of years?
Yeah, I think the number one thing, and it's not necessarily new, but I'm seeing it happen a little bit more of late, where there'll be like groups of people that'll pick a bottle,
Mhm.
and I think it's mainly coming from China, from what I hear, but it might not be the case. I don't know, but I know there's groups of people that'll be like, all right, let's attack Springbank 25 bottlings, for example, right?
Yeah.
And let's bid on every single one of them, and let's outbid each other. Let's raise the price up,
Yeah.
make it seem like it's going for $3,000-$4,000.
Yeah.
And then we have a whole bunch of them at home, So we'll do that with these bottles.
Yeah.
We'll raise the price, and then we'll start pushing our bottles into the market and make a ton of money off of it. So the game of, let's say the four of us have a bottle of this. We
Right.
put one at auction. We keep outbidding each other, and it goes for 15,000. Then we do it again. It goes for 16,000. Well, the next time we put one out, someone's going to think they're getting a great deal at 14,000.
Right.
And in reality, the four of us were the ones that brought up the market value on it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
was
that,
happening for a while.
that game, if you don't really know what's going on, you could really, really start thinking that certain bottles are worth a certain price, but they're not.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I mean, we
you
noticed
gotta,
it
you got to
with that.
really know what you're doing.
Yeah, like remember we were looking at the auction and the Springbank 21 like essentially doubled overnight, right? Like one or 2 months
It tripled overnight.
tripled. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was you're assuming that that's maybe something like that's going on, like inflated.
Well, I know for a fact that that's what was going on. It's done now. Those guys are done. It's
Yeah,
dropped.
they disappeared quick because now it's dropped like crazy.
It's dropped by quite a bit. Yeah, it's still too high, but it's dropped by quite a bit. But yeah, that's a great example. It happens with a lot of bottlings.
Macallan.
Macallan is
a
like
lot of limited edition bullshit.
yeah. With
Harmony.
Macallan, you have to be even with the reputable auction houses, you have to be really, really careful with Macallan too, because there's a lot of fakes. Pappies and Macallans, there's a lot of fakes.
Oh yeah.
So you want to run it by, if you're gonna spend big money on a Macallan, you want to run it by 2-3 people that really, really know how to study fakes. So if you guys ever needed that help, we can help, and we can tell you a few people to ask as well. I won't give their names here just because I don't know if they want their names brought up, but one of them you guys know.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was battling some dude on Instagram who was very publicly displaying all of this Macallan Harmony bottles that you had like 1,000.
Over 1,000 bottles.
We know. We were talking
about that earlier. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So he recently put a post out, referencing us Canadian YouTubers that were apparently jealous of his thing. I'm like, it's not a jealousy thing, dude. I called you out because you were bloating and bragging about all of this stuff and saying, you guys are playing checkers, I'm playing chess, you guys got to catch up, and like really being obnoxious about it.
Yeah.
Right.
And all I said is like, that was in bad taste. I'm like, you are ruining whiskey for people who want to drink it.
Yeah.
You're an investor. That's fine. Whatever. I'm just saying that like what you're doing is in bad taste. And he thought it was a jealousy thing. It's not a jealousy thing.
No.
And for some reason, he thinks these bottles are, have skyrocketed in price. He's saying they're worth $2,000. I'm like, I don't know, man. Check the UK auction. I think they're going for about under £300 now. I'm like, if you need some investing advice, sell your bottles for $2,000 if someone's willing to pay you.
Yeah,
But, I mean,
absolutely.
All I could say is the people that are not into drinking and buy a whiskey, it's one thing to buy a whiskey that you're like, you know what, I might sell this one day, but worst comes to worst, I'll drink it, right? Because it's great whiskey.
Right,
And
exactly.
so let's say this Glen Grant, for example, right? Let's say I do firmly think this Glen Grant will be $20,000 bottle one day, right? It retails at $7,000.
Yeah.
So let's say I wanted to sell it at $20,000 one day, okay? And I buy it and it never reaches there. It never reaches there. But worst case, I'll be like, you know what? It's great whiskey, and I could drink it. But if you don't buy that way, and you're just stocking up stuff that you don't even want to drink because you think it's going to do a 10x, you're going to get burned one day for sure, big time.
Yeah. Hence my Hazelburn 21 deal that I did. Like I knew that I wasn't gonna crack that second bottle of Glenallachie 21.
Yeah.
And I knew that, like I have another HP 25 if I really want to crack it one day. So I was like,
but yeah, I was gonna say what you're doing, Rob. That's so different compared to like, that's not even like investing. That's, you buy a backup bottle of something that you're popping open, and then you either drink it or you trade it or you sell it or you do whatever. That's so different than you going out and buying 40 bottles of Macallan 18 right now, even though you don't really enjoy it that much anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, 100%. I agree. Like I'll max buy 2, maybe 3 if I really enjoy it, and that's it. Like, and then I'll drink one, see what happens with the other two. If I'm going to trade them or I'm going to pop another one, and eventually, depending on the value, we'll see, right?
Yeah, this is the guy, like, he's confused of why I was upset or why anyone else would be upset, right? Because he's not a drinker. He's not like an enthusiast about whiskey.
Exactly.
He's an investor. And he's like, why are you thought we were being jealous? I'm like, it's not a jealousy thing, man.
No,
I don't wish that I had $1,000 of Macallan Harmony.
no one does.
Right? Like, it's like people like you are preventing people who want to drink and enjoy whiskey from doing it.
Right.
For sure.
So before you make the switch over here to this beautiful Lalique.
Yes.
You guys are pulling from the bottom shelf, I see today.
Yeah. We got a few things. We don't really drink out of this very often, and we thought, why not? Let's get a little fancy with fancy cigars out here since we're on you guys' podcast.
So hypothetically, neck pour, obviously fresh crack. What would you score? What do you think that's going to score in? You know, give a score now and a prediction for score in a couple months.
Okay, so it's really, really hard to do with a cigar and being outside. So it's like normally I actually, you know, if I spend a lot of time with even just a sample, I feel like I could really crack down to how I feel about that whiskey. And even if the score would be a little different later on, that's okay. I'm all about how I feel about that whiskey that day, you know?
Right. Exactly.
So it is what it is. And it's not like my score matters that much. It's not going into the history books, you know, it's my opinion. So I'm fine with analyzing a whiskey on the spot, but it's really hard to do with this one just because we're smoking, talking, and when we're outside, but the nose was just absolutely insane. But it's one of those whiskeys where it's it's going into that 96 kind of territory, I think.
Wow.
And it needs to open up because even like 10 minutes later, it started evolving insanely.
I could just tell from the nose that it's gonna get to that kind of level
for sure.
But right now it would be very, very difficult to score.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's up there, and it's one of those things where I've had a few of these older Glen Grants, and they all tend to score in that 93, 95 range for me.
Yes.
The old school
It
ones.
definitely is in our wheelhouse.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my scores have obviously changed over the years, but I still I guess I'm a little bit more willing to give something between an 86 and a 90. But then I still haven't given anything better than that Mortlock that I gave at 95. And really, I don't know if, you know, the brewer we did was excellent. I think I gave that a 94. I don't know. There's been like stuff that comes close. And obviously that the Glenlivet 80-year-old, I think I gave it a 95, but I don't, I mean, I don't even know if that's a fair way to mark that because it was an ounce, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, I don't know, but
But it's what you experienced in that moment. If you feel like, you know, I get over the years, I mean, I literally lay in bed thinking about like how I'm thinking about whiskey scoring. It's like a big thing. I don't talk about it. You know, we're just throwing out a score, but I actually put like so much thought into it. And as I'm drinking the whiskey, I'm comparing it to like 100 different bottles.
that's awesome.
And I view it from an enjoyment point, but also from a technical point. Like, how is this whiskey? What's, you know, in terms of mouthfeel and the barley and the distillate and how the oak interplayed with that. So I just try as much as I possibly can from my knowledge, try to think of it from a technical standpoint, and then obviously combine that from how I'm enjoying it at the same time.
Yeah.
So you guys got a Macallan
Number
number 6 on the table there. That Lalique.
Yeah. We got it. Do we bring out tumblers for this?
Casual Saturday. Casual.
That decanter, does it have a rubber seal on it there?
This is the crystal topper.
Yeah, so it comes with a cork, but it also comes with the crystal topper.
And do you guys store it with the crystal topper on there?
No, we don't.
No.
Okay.
Use the cork.
I was gonna say because
It's
usually
purely
like
for show.
We're literally.
So one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this out was to kind of contrast the modern or most recent Macallan limited edition releases marketing with the next thing we're going to pull out.
Oh snap!
Oh dear.
It's kind of a little teaser. Yeah.
The Macallan 81.
Yeah, I was gonna say Macallan had a one up, right? They had a one up one MacPhail, didn't they?
You guys did the 80? Screw you guys.
Well, you guys are pouring a crazy expensive bottle. Rob, you just poured a little of this. You guys will recognize this, and you actually, Narby, you put me onto this one.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Focus there. This was like literally the best purchase in bourbon at the time.
Oh,
Yes.
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's
those are
Old Oaks
those
bottle,
are gone
right?
now.
Yeah, these are old oaks, and Narby, you put me onto that. I bought maybe 4 or 5 when I could.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
That's awesome.
When they were releasing these, 13, 14, 15-year-old Knob Creeks for what, like 60, 70, 80 bucks.
Oh,
US?
insane.
One of the best
60 bucks.
purchases.
Yeah, 60, 70
Yeah.
bucks.
Right? That was the best purchase in bourbon at that time, for sure.
It's honestly like if you're talking budget whiskey, like I just popped out a video today, which will probably be about a week old by the time this goes out. But Knob Creek made that list too, and it's just because as far as like what you want in a bourbon, like how much better, I mean it does get way better, but you're talking like crazy old, or you're talking like super boutique-y type like style, or like you're talking like crazy things, not just go pick one off the shelf, one like Knob Creek 9 120, and like there's not much in my opinion that matches that quality at that price. And the fact that they were doing this, what was it, 14 years old?
They're all around like either 13, 14, or 15.
This
or
was, I
like,
think, this one is just shy of 15, right?
yeah, I think most of them were in the range of like between 13 and 15.
Yeah. Well, right now, all the ones that are coming out are around 9, 10 years old. Yeah. Right when you bought that one, a lot of them actually even said 9 years old on them, but they were actually 14, 15 years old.
14,
Right.
15.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, I believe that's a 14 or a 15-year-old right there on
This
your
one
hand.
is, so it would have been October 13th, 2019. That would have made it 15. It's March 1st.
And they bought it at 60, right?
They bottle everything at 60.
at 60.
60.
Yeah, they don't go.
I mean, it's hard to beat that.
you
It's
can't
really hard to beat
You can't
that.
beat that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, those are spectacular.
Yeah, that was best value in bourbon for sure.
We were excited when you guys tried the Michter's 20. That's one of my favorite bourbons.
Oh, yeah.
Man, that thing was different, eh? That was
good.
really good.
That was good.
really good.
We're still trying to figure out what distillery that is.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I think you guys tried the
Insane.
same bottle that we have, the 2016 bottling.
have
I can't remember. We'd have to
2017?
look at our video.
Yeah.
We'd have to look at our video.
Again, from our buddy James.
Yeah, James. Bourne.
This guy James, man, he's
hooked-
been so good to us.
He's hooked us up so nicely.
Yeah.
No, I know it's nothing like it. I've been very fortunate to go to some crazy whiskey events before, like at some like billionaire houses, where like I was
That was crazy.
invited just to talk about whiskey a little bit, and guys opening up like $10,000 bottles of wine and champagnes and old pappies that go for like 40 grand at auction. And
Wow.
I don't even remember what my point was. Going to events, there's nothing like going to like a high-end event. It's feels nice.
Yeah.
Narby, what was that one event in Vegas? There was tickets being sold a couple years back, pre-COVID times. I think it was like 10 grand a ticket, maybe.
It's
And you
not
were-
10 grand. It's 2,600 a ticket.
Okay.
Still, that's up there.
It's a lot.
Yeah, the
value now.
Yeah, you're talking about the nth. It used to be insanely
Used to
good to
be
go. Like the
insane.
value was spectacular.
Yeah.
And I know that's a lot of money to pay, but they were bringing out like
Black Bowmores.
they were bringing out
all of
crazy
them.
crazy bottles
Yeah,
that you get
that's
to try. Now it's like you get to try maybe like a couple of releases from Gordon and MacPhail that are really expensive.
That's probably the best thing you get to try.
Yeah, and get to try Glen at 30 and stuff like that. So the level has gone down by like quite a bit, but it's still a really cool event.
Kind of like whiskey. You pay more, but you don't get what you used to get.
less.
Yeah,
Get
yeah,
less
yeah.
what you pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, for high-end pours, you still get whatever's available now in today's market.
And what was that event in Scotland too? There was one, that crazy one.
Oh my God, that was the Old and Rare Whiskey Show in
Yes.
Glasgow.
Yes.
That one year where Serge was there with a master class,
Wow.
and Angus brought some of his personal bottlings.
Wow.
They had like Port Ellen Queen celebration. They had the Largy, the Largy Mianok, which is Bowmore. That was the year to go. If you
Yeah,
will.
yeah.
That was crazy.
Missed opportunity for
Yeah.
sure.
It's
Right.
still going, but basically you're hoping that like an Angus or Serge will sell one of his personal bottles, or
Yeah.
open it, sell it by the pour.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I can't imagine what those guys have in their bunker.
Oh my God.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know what they have. It's tricky if they've drank it already, but yeah, I'd be curious to see. I know
That's true.
for Angus, he does. That's kind of his business in life, where he acquires bottles, but then he opens them and sells them by the dram at events and stuff like that too.
Which is awesome.
It's a nice way of doing it, right? Because 26 people can enjoy that bottle.
Yeah.
Or whatever it may be.
Yeah, we've been invited to go to whiskey events to have a booth. They're like, yeah, come bring all your Samarolis. We're like, no.
Yeah, sure, exactly.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, we were offered crazy money for an ounce of the Lefroy Samaroli, and we said no.
And what's that whiskey bar? I think it's in Southeast Asia, maybe in Thailand was the one you guys were talking about, or
in Singapore.
Singapore has like 3 bars. The Old Alliance. He's the owner of that bar is the person who kind of introduced us to the Samarolis years and years ago. Because when we first got into whiskey, when we first went geeky with it, we were reaching out to everybody. First of all, any liquor store in the country we were calling, and even bars and people overseas, and we were just crazy about it. Our journey still is to try everything, and we don't really buy doubles of anything because we literally want to try everything.
Yeah,
I remember I when I first read Serge's review of Springbank 12 Samaroli, which is longer than maybe any of his reviews of any bottles. I literally Googled it, trying to find it everywhere. And I think the 3rd page of Google, I found the link to the Old Alliance.
Okay.
Get out of here.
And that was like dropping in the rabbit hole. It was over.
It goes past page 1, right?
Yeah, nobody.
Yeah. I was searching, man. That was crazy, but yeah.
Do you think there's any crazy Samaroli bottles still hanging around in Italy somewhere in a
No. Because now people know. Now everybody knows that these are actually the best whiskeys in the world, and it's you could say it's personal opinion, but it's not. They just are. They're the best whiskeys in the world. If I don't know. Again, it's an opinion thing, but put 20 of the most experienced whiskey drinkers in the world, and they're all going to say the same thing.
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Do a blind tasting of all old crazy stuff. all the best things in the world that some of the best reviewers in the world right now would put on that table.
That'd be a masterclass right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
And it's
best
funny.
wine, the best champagne, the
How
best
much money?
port, the
How
best
much-
whiskey, the best cigars.
Let's say just whiskey category.
Like an end of the world party.
Yeah.
Right.
What would you pay for that ticket, knowing you're gonna get 10 drams and they are they are ranked the best in the world by the best reviewers in the world.
It's priceless, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Funny. You could argue.
You could do 10.
You could argue Silvano.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Let's say you could argue Silvano Samaroli had a certain profile he went for, no matter what the distillery was.
Yeah.
And he nailed it how many times? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. He did have a type. I mean, I haven't tasted some of those crazy ones that you have tried, but I would assume it seemed like he had a type. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Yeah, all 57 to 59% ABV, crazy.
It's 2 companies. The other one is the USA independent bottler. It's him and Samaroli. There's 2 different ones. Which one am I talking? The San Francisco shop.
Oh, the Cordy brothers.
Is it the Cordy or is it something else? I can't recall. But they had access to these casks where it was there's very few people that had full access to these particular casks. And Samaroli actually not only picked the best cask, but he was bottling a cask strength when no one was.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he's kind of one of the first people to start bottling at cask strength. Remember, at a time where maybe people were like, this is too hot to drink. Now everybody loves cask strength, right?
Yeah.
But that wasn't the case when he was bottling them at cask strength.
Yeah.
It wasn't the case until probably in Canada for sure, 10 years ago. It wasn't even that long ago that people.
Yeah.
No,
so
for sure.
he's also not only known for picking the best barrels, but also bottling them the way he enjoyed drinking them. So he's also a revolutionary person in that way as well.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
Big time. Pioneer.
Yeah.
Yeah, check out the Sipper Social Club video. best whiskey ever bottled.
It's so funny.
Oh
That's-
yeah.
That's my if I could pick one video in all of Whiskey Tube, that's my favorite video, naturally, because you included us. But
Yes.
I remember we wanted to do a similar video. We talked about it, and then I'm like, well, we can't copy what's his name. I hope he includes us. So that was very cool of you to like not only include us, but you really included us in quite a bit in it.
Yeah,
So that
and
was very-
I reached
very
out to Serge, and he got back to me, and we had conversations through emails, and it was really kind of cool to talk to him and kind of pick his brain a little bit too about
That's awesome.
That's so
stuff
cool.
that he considered like his all-time favorites.
Yeah. His all-time favorite is the Port Ellen Queen, the
Yep.
Springbank Samaroli, the Lefroy Samaroli, and then there's like one or two more, but those are all of the bottles that he's ranked in this very top.
Would you say Serge then is the number one like best reviewer in the world right now? Or who would you say?
In our opinion, easily.
Yes.
In our opinion, easily. And I know people will freak out a little bit sometimes when they see like a random weird whiskey that they feel like is not that good, and all of a sudden he drops like a 91, and then it'll be like a Macallan 30, he'll drop like an 85.
Yeah.
Um,
Or Macallan Fine and Rare.
yeah.
Highland Park 10, that was
Highland
a
Park 10,
90.
he scored at 90, and everyone
90.
was like, "What?"
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so like he has interesting things like that. But one thing I've learned, that if you want to become a known reviewer and like a big time reviewer, and I'm not saying he does this, but you got to be a little bit. You can't be so simple like, oh, 70-year-old Glen Grant, I give it a 95. Well, no shit, you do, you know.
Of course.
So it's like, you know, for example, if we were, let's say, trying to like become like more known, and we were more out there, and we were like, you know, trying. So imagine like getting a whiskey like that and scoring it an 81, and then getting a cheap $50 bottle and scoring it 91.
Right.
Yeah.
People
Right.
gravitate towards stuff like that.
True.
So much more. I'm not saying that's what Serge did, but reviewers do that.
I think you're
Sure.
right. I mean, it definitely created some buzz when he scored that
Sure.
at 90.
I mean, the guy's got what 17,000 or 20,000 reviews on his
Yeah,
website.
he's got over 20,000.
It's crazy, right?
He
It's like-
also analyzes. Yeah, he's also analyzing, literally like almost full blown analyzing the distillate, where like most people are analyzing the enjoyment of the whiskey.
Right.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
really going about things from a full on technical standpoint. Now, that being said, that
True,
Highland Park you guys
true.
are referring to, I probably scored it like an 80. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't a great whiskey in
Yeah.
my opinion, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
like for example, the recent Ardnamurchan
yes.
reviews, like he's going more on the quality of Ardnamurchan's young distillate and like the potential of it, kind of thing. You know?
Is that the same one that Ralphie just did that he was raving about as well?
You guys know Ralphie used to be a malt maniac, right?
Mhm.
Did you guys
He
know
was
that?
writing on the chat on the website?
I mean, he was a member, I think. I don't know. Like, he
Oh.
wasn't doing
Okay.
reviews. So.
Yeah, no, he didn't. He never posted any reviews, but he decided to leave right around the time where he started YouTube, and just to let someone else jump in.
Right.
How's that work? Like
Spot.
what's the he only has a set amount of spots? How does that work to be able
Yeah. So it's so malt. I would say Malt Maniacs and the Ploughed Society are two of the biggest, most famous whiskey groups. We were actually invited to be part of the Ploughed Society, and they're honorary members of the Malt Maniacs. But yeah, somebody has to leave for somebody to enter.
Okay. And there's
So
obviously
either they pass away or they decide to leave.
there's obviously a big list.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you're kind of expected to share everything you have, and everybody has crazy stuff. And for example, like the Ploughed Society, they meet in Vegas once a year, and everyone brings like 50 bottles each, crazy stuff, and you just, you know, try 1,000 insane bottles
Yeah.
over a weekend.
Crazy. Yeah.
Jeez.
Honestly, like I don't know, like, and this is a question that I think actually these guys, the viewers would be interested to hear, because at what point is it almost like a waste? Like, is it almost like just too much whiskey? You're not really getting what you want to out of that whiskey. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like I might as well just try Glen 12-year-old.
In honor of the Queen's recent passing.
Oh, damn. I know Ralphie was sitting on a couple of these because he did a little tour. He doesn't do them anymore. He's got like a Queen Jubilee Macallan, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
so this was the third of the releases of that era, released 2013.
Yeah.
This was 350 pounds when it first came
Yeah,
out.
but when did it come out?
2013.
2013.
Wow.
Tell me you paid that much, that little for it.
I bet.
We did. How much did we pay for it?
Like 600.
Yeah, we didn't pay much for it. 600 pounds.
That's
Wow.
great.
It goes for right now. It goes for around 7,000 pounds at auction.
Crazy.
Jeez.
It was like a $10,000
You
bottle.
guys reviewed these already, right?
We reviewed
Yeah, we
it,
reviewed it.
So mainly you're paying for this guy.
There's 2 half bottles.
Yeah.
One of them is one of the best, just straight sherried whiskeys you could ever drink.
Wow.
And the other one is sherry as well, but it's American oak
We
sherry.
joke it's bourbon, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's just American oak sherry.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
But obviously, yeah, it's like the young queen, 25 years old, and the old queen. And it might be like 1953 Macallan. Who knows?
Yeah, we've been lucky enough to try quite a few fine and rares, and there's a certain concentration of Macallan in those, and one of these totally has that. It's kind of like a mini fine and rare.
And sorry, what's the age on the second bottle?
There's no age
Oh, no,
statement
there's
on it.
no, I was joking. There's no
They're
age.
both NAS. Oh,
They're
wow.
both-
They're both NAS. Yeah.
They're both NAS, but it drinks like a 50-year-old whiskey.
But I was joking, like in the younger one, the queen is 25 years old.
Oh, in the
In
okay.
that picture,
Yeah.
that was when she first became queen, 1953. And it's basically like a 25-year-old whiskey.
It
So-
really does drink like kind of with the ages of the
The age of the queen.
yeah.
If this airs on Monday, the funeral is Monday.
Yeah.
It would be. You should dry open with this.
As a celebration of life.
Right.
For the,
Yeah.
for
Can you
the
guys
queen.
see the first one?
Yeah.
Then we can all go viral, and then
You know she's on her $20 bill, eh?
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then this is the older queen, which this picture was actually taken 2004. But I don't know how old, but we joke. It's like it's a secret fine and rare.
It drinks very similar.
Insane.
Yeah, it drinks very similar to the fine and rares, which is just ultra concentrated, good Macallan. Just almost like a vinegar version of Macallan.
I wonder, so the relationship between the Scots and the English must have corrected in the last, I want to say 15 years, 20 years, because the Scottish that migrated to Canada still are not big fans. To the point where the memes I was getting from my Scottish friends when that happened, I'm not gonna say what, but they were offside to say the least.
The memes that came out were insane.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the Undertaker one. That one just blew my fucking. I just lost it.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, okay. I might play it right here in the edit.
Undertaker's got Randy Orton! The Undertaker's alive and well! Be careful, he's trying to push Edgewood! Oh my God! Randy Orton! Into the casket!
It's just the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Pretty offside, but funny as well.
Jeremy, I'm still waiting for your glassware make fun videos.
Oh, can't wait.
Oh yeah, right.
Jeremy's got an epic Halloween episode planned.
I do have it planned.
yeah, I
I don't
can't
know if
wait.
logistically I can pull it off though.
No?
I mean, I want a drone. I need legit
Oh, I know why you need the drone for.
yeah.
Hey, you need some resources on that guy.
I know. I it might have to. It might
Oh,
have
he
to,
knows what you're gonna do?
It might have to be a 2023 Halloween video, but yeah.
Yeah, those Halloween videos are awesome.
Those are awesome.
Honestly, the fact that you don't have 1 million subscribers just based on those
I know.
videos alone doesn't still doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, he's doing pretty good. Jeremy, you came onto YouTube and you exploded. You exploded. We've been on YouTube for 20 years and we got 13 subscribers. And
Yeah.
we got like $3 million worth of whiskey we're reviewing.
Yeah.
I had one video. It was one video.
No, you have more than one video.
You got more than one. You got more than one. You got a lot of videos with like 300,000 video views and stuff like that.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, that's really good.
Modest. He's definitely being modest, but he's definitely killing it. I feel like Canadians have been left out of the algorithm in the last like 2 years, though, a year and a half. Like even like, what would you say like your subscriber growth has been in the last year?
Dead.
Right?
Dead.
Like,
Yeah,
it's been
dead.
crazy.
Dead. Yeah.
We've definitely
Funny.
been left out of the algorithm.
It's
Well,
funny
those
because
bourbon guys really kind of took it over. Really,
They
really
took
did.
it
Oh,
over.
after like during COVID, they took it over.
Well, you
Yeah.
know what happened with whiskey? So when, for example, when we started, and again, we're just turning our, we were just turning our phone on and no editing, cameras, cricket,
Yeah.
no video quality. But at that time, it was whiskey people doing YouTube. Now it's YouTube people doing whiskey.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
So that's the requirement.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a great point, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but to be to not, I don't mean that to be a diss in any way, by the way. I hope it doesn't come off that way. But some of the people that weren't necessarily whiskey people, they were YouTube people. They've now become whiskey people because they've just done so many videos.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You look at someone like Mash and Drum, who we watch, who we're fans of. So, but I don't know how much of a whiskey guy he really was when he started, but now he's like tried thousands of whiskeys, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, as you blow up, you get opportunities. You
Yeah.
get to try more stuff.
He's one of the few guys that I know that like can nail what distillery a bourbon came from blind.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
which is ridiculous to me because I feel like all bourbon tastes the same.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I don't.
Especially,
But,
from a Scotch point of view, of course.
right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I mean I'm pretty decent at like blind tasting when it comes to Scotch. I think I'm actually above average, but when it comes to bourbon, I feel like I would fail epically. And the fact that he just he can nail. Like,
Yeah, but you know what it is, Rob? When you, for example, sit down for a month and drink for 1 week, drink Buffalo Trace. The next week, drink Wild Turkey. The next week, you drink Heaven Hill.
Yeah.
And then do a blind after that between the four of them, and you're going to be able to pick it apart pretty easily. The reason why they all kind of start tasting the same is because we're not visiting them as often as we do Scotch.
True.
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
But if we do it every day and you just sit there and practice it, you would nail it the same way you do when you do blinds with Scotch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you guys watch that recent blind Johnny Walker rant that we did?
Yes. Yes.
The fact that I was able to nail any of those,
You crushed it. I had no
shocked
idea
me.
what was going
I
on.
was like,
I was insane. Yeah, you kicked Jeremy's ass.
Yeah, it was like, this is the red. That's all I got right.
Yeah. Seriously.
You better get the red right. It's tough. Well, one, blinds are tough because you're starting to drink different things, and they're really tough because you have the flavor of the previous whiskey lingering on your palate still
Right.
while
Yes.
you're trying a new one.
absolutely. That's what
So I actually have an easier time doing a blind where you just hand it to me and be like, what is this? That's actually almost easier because when the flavor of the previous whiskey is lingering, they just start overlapping
True.
and you end up looking probably a little worse than you actually are because it's tricky. The flavors are just kind of mingling together and it gets a little tough when you're doing a live. So blinds are tough.
Blinds are tough. We've challenged ourselves recently with a couple really hard ones, like the Glen 10 lineup. Like,
Yes.
it's all the same
That
whiskey.
was, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was fun. And then the Johnny Walker one was a lot of fun too.
You know, Aquavita used to do really good videos where he would send a sample set to people
Yes.
and then give
That
them
was
kind
awesome.
of clues and then, like staging it, being like, okay, pick the blend, pick this cast strength, pick this,
Yeah.
pick that. Really cool videos. He hasn't done that in a while.
So
Mhm.
when he sent me that, I honestly feel so bad because he asked me to edit, like not edit anything and just send him the raw footage. And I sent him like a ridiculous amount of time in footage.
Yeah.
At one point, I think my wife came downstairs and I'm like, I can't taste any of this.
I guess he
whiskey.
edited that part.
I'm
out,
like,
eh?
either he hates me or there's something wrong with my palate. And then like, sure enough, the next day I found out that I had hand, foot, and mouth. And I did okay, actually, considering.
Yeah, I remember you did okay.
I did okay, not great, but I mean, it was probably my worst performance out of every blind I've ever done on YouTube ever. But
If you did it again now, you'd crush it.
I think I would.
Yeah.
But I more feel bad about what he had to listen to throughout that whole thing. And in my head, I'm like, this guy fucking hates me. This guy can't stand my guts. I'm like, he must hate me. He's trying to kill me.
He gave you some really tough things.
Yeah, but it wasn't
Really
at the end of the day, it wasn't his fault. Like I said, it was like, you know, my kids had hand, foot, and mouth, and then sure enough, I got hand, foot, and mouth, and
right. It's like trying to do a blind with COVID.
With COVID, that's pretty much exact. Like the only other time I lost my taste and smell was with COVID.
Yeah,
and then that was the first time.
I lost my taste and smell for like 2-3.
He was terrified.
I've never been more scared. The only reason why I got vaccinated was to not lose my taste, and then I lost my taste
For whiskey purposes.
Yeah.
And I mean, how long did it take you to get it back?
At least 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like fully back, right? Like the first couple of days you start to feel sensations and stuff like that, or was it gone for like 2 to 3 weeks completely?
To get it fully back, it was probably over a month.
Yeah. Well, look at Scott from Scotch Test Dummies.
A year.
He's still getting it back.
Yeah, he's still not 100%, right? He's still a little bit iffy.
That's absurd.
But he got OG COVID. He got like strain 1, like case 0 of COVID.
I wouldn't be surprised if I had
one.
case 0 too, because we had like when I was teaching Muay Thai, and not to veer off topic here, but when I was teaching Muay Thai, my whole all my students, including myself, were sick for like 2 weeks. And we're like, we don't know what the hell this is, but we're all in shambles. This was 2019, November.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, 4 months later, we locked down. But that was my first experience with, I think, what was COVID.
Crazy.
These are nuts. We just had this 55.7% ABV, and it's American sherry. It looks like bourbon. It's got bourbon-like fruits from Macallan.
Insane.
It's so good, and this has been open since 2013.
Yep.
Wow.
And a lot of people think that whiskey flattens out. If it's cask strength, it doesn't really flatten out. Honestly, you guys.
You know,
usually gets better.
The only cask strength whiskey I have that's ever flattened out was my Macallan Virgin Oak.
Really?
The quality has diminished so much from like, I would say the top to halfway.
Yeah.
I have maybe a heel left.
Yeah.
And it's nowhere near as good as it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So the whiskey that shocked us the most, Macallan 25-year-old, the bottle we reviewed on the channel, it flattened out in 6 months.
Wow.
I find that Macallan flattens out. It starts flattening out the moment you open that bottle. If it's 43%.
The moment you open. It's always the best on neck pour.
Yeah, the second we opened it.
Yeah, that's the only whiskey in the world that does that to me every single time. That's crazy that you guys said that, because I always felt that way.
Yeah, 100%. We always say neck pour is number 1 for Macallan.
The second we opened it, it was like 93.
Yeah.
And then 6 months later, like 85.
85,
Great. Yeah. I don't know how that happens, but it's the only whiskey that does that to me every time. He was over my house. He hadn't started his channel yet. We opened the Macallan Edition 1. And I swear to God, the entire kitchen filled with the smell of Macallan Edition 1. Like I was like, what the hell is this?
Wow.
This is incredible.
Yeah.
And it went from being a ridiculous nose to like an average nose by like halfway into the bottle. And I was like, and this is a 48% Macallan. It's not like a low ABV Macallan. You know what I mean? So yes, I understand why people love that bottle, but man.
And like,
100%.
what do you guys do for like bottle preservation? Do you guys use the wine gas? Do you?
Why we have used it. I stopped using it.
Okay.
We honestly just store it in a dark place.
Yeah.
That's even temperatured, and then we parafilm every bottle. I tend to parafilm a little bit more than Mike, but we parafilm the bottle just to prevent as much air to go in to prevent the cork from changing size, right? But you don't want heat and then cold, and you don't want direct sunlight, obviously. Right. So if the cork can just stay the same, and we're preventing as little air to be able to get through by parafilming, you're doing an okay job.
Good to go. Yeah, parafilm.
Yeah. That's it. Nothing fancy.
Next time on the Whisky Rant Podcast.
Narby,
right.
tell the story about the Samaroli Springbank and when you tried it and then you cried because you thought that no whiskey was ever going to be as good.
And we're drinking it, and as soon as I start nosing it, I'm not kidding you guys. Like, ask Mike.
I'm a witness. Yeah.
I literally start tearing up. I'm talking like there's literally like 40,000 different notes in there. There's nobody that could review that whiskey because there's literally 40,000 things going on.